Hello, my darling hearts, and welcome again to Awaken the Divine Feminine, integrating goddess wisdom into your daily life. We are here for session 2, and I am super excited. I love all of the things that I teach, and I am so very excited to be here because this is one of my favorites. Everything is my favorite. The more classes you take with me, the more you'll see, oh, this is my favorite. I just love sharing this with you. So as we begin, I just want to give you some gentle reminders to do what feels right. Draw, journal, take notes. If you want to be off camera, that's fine too. Just do whatever feels perfect for you in this moment. Let the information meet you where you are at and take you to your next learning level. This is not so rigid and structured that you have to get any of this information correct. Enjoy this buffet that I am laying out before you. I am not an expert. I am just sharing what has worked for me and what has inspired and uplifted me for you to partake in. And if something just doesn't resonate with you and something is not true for you, feel free to let it go. And in that, I invite you to stay open for new insights and new ways of holding something. Perhaps something gets triggered in you and you decide you want to investigate that a little bit further. Be gentle with yourself and be open for understanding it a little bit different than you have before. So, as we begin today, we want to again come into presence. So, I invite you to take a nice deep breath here. You might want to roll your shoulders back, allow them to drop. You might even need to wiggle around in your chair or your seat. Spread your legs out a little bit. Make sure that you are super squishy comfortable. You might want to rock your hips back and forth until you find that perfect sit spot. And then with another breath, just bring your awareness deep down into your body and allow your awareness to drop down to the earth below our feet. And if you are like me on the second floor of your home, just imagine that you are dropping your energy all the way down through the layers into the earth beneath you. And then just bring that awareness up slowly with the breath. And then at the top of the breath, breathe just a little bit more, allowing the energy to come out of the top of your head and make a connection to the sky above you, drawing that energy down with the exhale. And then with another breath, allow the energy of the earth and the sky to meet in your heart so that you become that space in between, so that you know that you are held between Mother Earth and Father Sky, held, supported, and loved in this your walk on this planet. In Great Spirit, I give thanks for this time with all of these beautiful beings here live and those beautiful jewels that are on the replay as well. I call upon my higher self and their higher self, and I ask to be a clean, clear channel for anything that needs to be spoken in service of these beautiful beings to help their understanding, their spiritual journey continue in whatever way is best for them. I call upon the elements of earth, water, air, fire, and spirit, to create a beautiful container in which we can unfurl and steep our wisdom. I call upon the divine feminine and the divine masculine in sacred right relationship. I ask the divine masculine to hold sentinel as we go deeper into our exploration of the divine feminine in all of her aspects. And so it is. Thank you. So we want to re-energize our program intentions. And again, my intention for you is that this program awaken within you a deeper connection to the divine feminine wisdom and bring goddess guidance into every aspect of your daily life. And just take a moment here to read over your intention. What was it that you wanted to come forth from this program? And now we're going to once again get up and do a little bit of movement. And again, please do what is comfortable for you. If it's not comfortable for you to be able to get up, if you can sway back and forth in your chair, just allow your body to move. Allow your body to tell you where it needs to move, how it needs to move in order to connect and bring goddess through you, through your physical realm, through your emotional realm, through your air realm, through the fire in your blood, and through your spirit and soul. And once again, I think the way that the recording does, it'll stay on my screen. So I am feeling like getting up. So you'll see again the blank screen of just my background as we get up and move. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Mm. Okay. So I just wanted to give a moment here to find out what was meaningful for you since we last met about Goddess. What was there anything that stood out for you in the space between session 1 and session 2? Anything that wants to be shared right now?
I don't know if anything stands out at the moment.
Mm.
I'm sure if I went back and reviewed my notes, something would. But I just want to acknowledge what a hard week it has been,
Yes.
especially the last 24 hours
Yes.
in the US. And um, I have, besides COVID and all the things going on, I have personally heard from several, I've had bad news, not
Mm.
personally, but people that I care about.
Mm.
And so focusing on something spiritual like this is, I mean, it's couldn't come at a better time.
Yes. Yes. I agree. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging that. Yeah. Yeah, it has been a very hard week. And we have a beautiful time to connect together and be encircled together and hold each other here. And I think that's one of the most beautiful and beneficial things that I've experienced in connecting with Goddess and in being in circle with others. Thailand, anything you would like to share, or are you good for now? Oh, you're muted, love.
I am good for now, sorry.
Okay. Okay. No worries. Thank you. Lovely to hear your voice. All right. So, for those of you that are on the replay, I am working very diligently on getting a kind of message board up so that you can share your insights and have a little bit more connection time with me as well. I know in this particular session we have a couple of people from India that have found me, so I would love to hear more insights and see how everything is going throughout our time together. Okay, so let's dive in. Today, we're going to talk about connecting to the many aspects of Goddess. And this is really key because we want to, in this program, I want to encourage you to have a more personal, more intimate relationship with Goddess and take her off the pedestal. And I want to talk about that just a little bit here because one thing that I have noticed in my walk with Goddess is that um, when a lot of people are talking about Goddess, they talk about the Goddess, referring to her with that connection word the. And for me personally, what I have experienced is that calling Goddess the Goddess really distances her from me. And I don't want that kind of relationship. I feel like I had that kind of relationship with God in the church. And even in the church, we didn't refer to God as the God. We just said God. We didn't add anything onto that. And so when I started calling Goddess specifically by name and using the title Goddess as kind of an honorific, as I would call specific goddesses that I was working with, I found that I had a more intimate, more living, breathing, more vibrant relationship with her. And in connecting with her in that way, it is just like any other relationship in that it needs care and feeding. If you are in a relationship with a partner or a friend, you know that if you don't spend time with them, if you don't or if you are attentive to what it is that they need and what it is that you need in reciprocity with that in that relationship, that kind of symbiotic relationship, then that relationship will fade away and die and not become as important as it once was. So in connecting with the different aspects of goddess, you want to do that, do some of the similar things that you would with a person. Just as you and I are in relationship now, we're having a conversation, we're entering into dialogue with each other, we're sharing ideas, we're connecting, we're talking deeply. Now, your relationship with goddess does not have to be static. It's not rote where you have to do these certain prayers and do these certain things and do this a certain time of day. It can be living, vibrant, and however it is that you need it to be, whatever fills your connection with her, whatever makes it feel meaningful to you. There was a famous poem called oh gosh, I lost it right now, but it was by Doreen Virtue. And one of the lines in it is that she says, all acts of love and pleasure are her rituals. So anytime you are doing anything with an act of love that you are enjoying, that it's bringing you pleasure, that's a ritual to goddess. That can be a ritual to goddess. Now, today we're going to enter in communion with Goddess. And I love that word communion because it means the sharing or exchanging of intimate thoughts and feelings, especially when the exchange is on a mental or spiritual level. Now, again, the church uses communion in a slightly different way, but we are using it here just as similarly as we would use community and commune. We're entering into this place where we are sharing or exchanging intimate thoughts and feelings with Goddess on a mental and spiritual level. So, there are many, many ways to commune with Goddess, right? All acts of love and pleasure are her rituals. The most important thing in communing with Goddess is your intention, what it is that you intend for it. Even cleaning your bathroom or taking out the trash can be a way to commune with Goddess. Some of the ways that I have found most palpable has been through the nature, through elements. You know, I am an elemental forces of creation oracle reader. I've studied the elements and continue to develop with the elements. Honoring the seasons, noticing what's going on in nature, noticing what's going on in your nature, how the external seasons are impacting your internal seasons. Communing with Goddess can be on the land that you or your ancestors lived on. If you have the blessing to be able to live a in a single family home, or even in an apartment, you can find out which people lived on the land that you inhabit now, and find out what goddesses they honored, or just commune with Gaia herself. Again, you can commune through her many aspects and archetypes, which I'm going to give you an experience of that today. And you can commune with Goddess through your own body. We've already started that practice by connecting with our intention and then getting up and moving to activate it. Other ways to commune with Goddess include creating ceremony, creation of all types, a cup of tea, a meal, art, sacred activism, dancing, singing, chanting, meditating. Anything that you can think of can be a communion or a connection point with Goddess. Your intention is absolutely key. So, in tuning in and asking which goddesses wanted to step forth, I actually ended up having 6 goddesses step forth. And each time I do this program, I usually I open to the invitation to whatever goddesses want to be heard, want to say something to the participants each time. So, a couple of little things here, little housekeeping things here as we begin. A lot of my current practice comes from, I'm sorry, I'm going to make sure that I leave that out of the room next time. Okay, so a lot of my current practice comes from these 2 books, Writing Down the Soul by Janet Conner and Life's Companion by, what is all of the titles? I even brought them here. Writing Down the Soul by Janet Conner, How to Activate and Listen to the Extraordinary Voice Within. And she, in that particular book, she talks a lot about connecting with that inner voice and what do you call that inner voice? And she talked to her participants in her journaling workshop, and a lot of things that they listed were God, Goddess, angels, their ancestral names. I mean, just anything that you can think of. So highly recommend that book. And then A Life's Companion, Journal Writing as a Spiritual Quest. This one is a really good book as well. It goes into a lot of details, gives a lot more, it gives a lot of writing prompts and things to help keep your writing process juicy. Oh, I do want to say Writing Down Your Soul actually gives the scientific brain science information about why journal writing is so impactful and so powerful. Super good book. Both of those books highly recommended. So my current practice is based on kind of an amalgamation of both of those books. I go back and read those books every couple of years or so, and I always find something new. My practice waxes and wanes. I don't always do this, but I do know that when I don't, I miss it. And when I get back to it, it's like, oh, why did I ever stop? So if you notice that your practice is kind of wax and wane, know that I believe that that's perfect because, you know, the moon waxes and wanes. The earth has its seasons. And I believe that sometimes our practices need to have seasons as well. So I invite you to play with all, some, or none of the things in your personal practice that I'm sharing with you today. And as I am leading you, as I'm guiding you here, trust your inner guidance because that's Goddess talking to you. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information, but again, trust where you're being led. Don't think that you have to do it my way. All right, so my way is to call in sacred space, to bless myself, my journal, my pen, the page, invite Goddess in, and to write and listen. So in the course of your writing, I usually write for 20 minutes. And the last 60 or so days, I've been writing every day for about 20 minutes, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes in the evening, just allowing myself to naturally pick the time. And I also like to use theta waves, any kind of theta wave meditation music in order to help me drop down into that brainwave state where I'm most receptive to finding the answers to any of the questions that are coming up for me. So that's what we're going to do today. When we invite Goddess, I again have 6 different goddesses that wanted to come forth. So first we're going to start out with calling in that sacred space. By the earth I summon her body. I draw her into my flesh. By the water, I summon her blood. I draw her into my veins. By the air, I summon her spirit. I draw her into my soul. By the fire, I summon her body. I draw her into me, I draw her into me, I draw her into me. And then if you have your oil with you, I like to use an anointing oil. This is actually a Magdalene blend. So I use this oil to bless myself. And I like to take a drop of the oil. If you do not have oil, but you do have your water with you, you might take a drop of water from your cup and just anoint yourself with the water. With the oil, I like to start out, put a little in my hand and get the olfactory centers moving. And then I take a drop and I anoint my feet. And again, these are my words. Please feel free to create your own words. And with this oil, I bless my feet that I may walk upon the earth with grace and ease. And when I anoint my feet, I anoint in a spiral. And then, because I am wearing clothes, I will hold my hand over my sexual organs and I will move them in a spiral. I bless my sex, the seed of my creation. I move up to my belly. I bless my core that I may trust the information being given to me. I move up to my heart, again in a spiral. I bless my heart that it stay open to love and compassion. I move up to my throat. And I might add a little bit more oil. I bless my throat that I may speak words of truth and power. I bless my eyes that I may see all that needs to be seen. I bless my mind and all contained within. And then the top, I bless my crown that I may stay open to the connection of good information coming in. And then I will bless each of my hands, and I just turn my palm over and make a spiral in my palms. I bless my hands that I may do good work. And then from there, I usually start my music, and so I'm going to start some music for us. Turn it down there. And then I hold my journal between my hands. And all this is taking a little bit of time because I'm going slowly and I'm sharing this with you. But when I do it, it usually takes 5 or 10 minutes. But I hold my book in between my hands and I just say a blessing. I just bless the book and the pages within. I bless this pen that it may be an instrument of connection and communication between us. And then I open my journal And I lay my hands on my pages and I just bless my pages. And then I invite Goddess. And here we are. So when I invite Goddess, as we go through each of these goddesses, you might want to invite Goddess by just writing Dear Goddess or Dear Gaia or Dear one of the epitaphs that strike you, Dear Great Mother of All. Okay? So I invite Gaia, who is considered the Great Mother of All. She was the primal Greek mother goddess born from chaos into beauty and wholeness. She's considered a creator and a giver of birth to the earth and the universe. And she is known through the depths of nature. And so I just invite you just to have a conversation with her, right on your page, Dear Gaia, Dear Great Mother of All, and ask and tell her what you would like her to know, and then take a breath and let her speak through you. And don't censor yourself, just write whatever comes into your head. I'll give you a couple minutes with Gaia. And just bring that journaling to a close. Okay. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Isis. Isis is the goddess of magic, mistress of the elements, goddess of death and rebirth. She is and was considered a most caring ruler, midwife, physician, teacher, and friend. She became known as the goddess of 10,000 names and faces. And so, right with Goddess Isis, what you would like her to know, and then take a breath and then ask her to write through you what she wants you to know. And then just begin to bring that journaling to a close. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Persephone, also known as Kore. She is the goddess of the soul, the possessor of Psyche's dark gift and unseen wisdom. She's the queen of the underworld. Nature's death and rebirth is told through the tale of Kore and her mother Demeter. So what would Persephone, Kore, want to hear from you? And what would you want to hear from her? And begin to bring that journaling to a close. And next, I'd like to introduce you to Yamaya. It's an Afro-Caribbean goddess of the seas, intuition, and prophecy, home, fertility, love, and family. She heard the cries of her enslaved people and came with them across the seas. It is said that Yamaya's first gift to her beloved humans was a seashell in which her voice could always be heard. So in talking with Yamaya, what is it that you would like to hear from her? And what does she have to tell you? And begin to bring that journaling to a close. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Lilith, who was a Sumerian goddess who refused to be subordinate to the husband. She's the queen of heaven transformed in the Jewish tradition, into the first wife of Adam and a demon. That she is currently revered as an independent goddess, confident in her sexual powers and her powers and prowess in general. So what would you have Lilith say to you, and what would you like Lilith to say? What does Lilith have for you? And bring that journaling to a close. And we have Kuan Yin, who is the goddess of compassion, goddess of mercy, she who hears the prayers of the world. She is worshipped as a protectress of sailors, merchants, and those who are imprisoned. So what would Kuan Yin say to you? And what would you say to Kuan Yin? and bring that journaling to a close. And now just give yourself a moment here to go back over everything that you just wrote, everything that you just received. And just look and see if there is a common thread between any of the information, anything that you wrote. There might not be, and that's okay too, but just kind of notice, is there a common thread? And you might want to pull out that thread, or conversely, you might want to just go through and underline something that really stands out for you. And then as I close my journaling, I like to take my water that I believe has been infused with all of the energy of the prayers and the hopes and everything that I have written. And I like to, usually I'll have tea. Sometimes I have water. Today I have water. But then I like to drink that and imagine being that my cells are being infused with the answers. So if you have a drink with you, if you've been drinking throughout, you've been infusing yourself. But if you have a drink with you, you might want to take a drink now. And then I usually close by just closing my book and putting my hand on my book and just saying thank you. So, is there anything from that experience that wants to be shared? I did want to give a few minutes. I know we're over time just a little bit, but I wanted to give a few minutes for sharing.
I love doing that. It was great. Um, Especially the listening, what
Mm,
Goddess has to say. Um, when I journal, I don't, it's more of a like getting it out
hmm
process. And that's such a good reminder to do the listening as well.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
appreciate that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, it transforms the journaling into a two-way communication. Initially I like to think of it as kind of a walkie-talkie, like, you're holding the button and talking, but if you never release the button, you won't hear. Hmm. All right. Well, I hope you got some beautiful, beautiful information, anything that you can apply to your daily life. And I would like to close with an invitation today for you to choose one of the goddesses from today or one that you are more familiar with and to continue your conversation this week. Oh, Guylan, did you have something to say?
No, it's okay.
Okay. So choose a goddess either from today or someone or one of the goddesses on your own. You might want to get a little academic and look up the goddesses that wanted to be present today and find out a little bit more information about them and journal with that. You might just want to continue the conversation from the introduction that we had today. Remember, either way is perfect, any way is perfect, or no way is perfect. Should you choose, this is a kind of a choose your own adventure. And I would just like to give just the deepest of gratitudes to you for showing up, for doing this work. And I just would like to ask the elements of earth and water and air and fire and spirit, and especially these goddesses. I ask them to continue to bless you throughout this week in between the time that we meet again. I ask that they continue to open their wisdom to you, continue to speak to you in ways that you will understand and know her touch. Know for sure in your gut that it is Goddess speaking to you. Mm. Thank you so much. I deeply appreciate you.
Thank you.